as much in this one. I think Alliance covered some problems that they had in the last game. This game they have better laning stage. They have more ways of fighting. The save on Liquid is a bit less prominent, although is it really? Actually, let's just scratch that. Now they have Song of the Siren as well, so maybe not.
Yeah.
They have tons of disengage. But the one concern I have looking for Alliance right now is Limp is playing off lane. Has this happened this tournament? Or am I forgetting this happening? I feel like Limp has played mid every single game for them, and they've always just given him the hero they want mid. Is that wrong?
You're asking me, I cast one Alliance series. Of the one Alliance series that I cast, he was mid. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm not saying you can't play side lanes. All of these players can play every lane, but it is possible it changes the dynamic of the team quite a bit, right? Like if you're playing side lane, you get levels slower. There's more pressure on S4 to deliver. He's obviously very confident and capable in the mid lane. The reason that Alliance are going to do this is they're anticipating that Naga will go mid. Naga has a mid build. And obviously wants to lane against the Batrider. But as soon as they identify this is the laning from Alliance, they're going to start lane swapping. So now Koika goes mid on Dragon Knight. Now Nature's Prophet is going to realize this and start heading top because he wants to have Batrider face Dragon Knight. But now that Batrider is running through Liquid's wards, Liquid are going to lane swap again. So now Koika will run top and Naga's back to mid. And in the end, Liquid are the big winners here because they got experience on both the lanes and Alliance didn't to begin with. And now they are ending up... Nope. Nature's Prophet's going back. Koika might just run after him, honestly.
I mean, S4 has no experience so far, and we're a full minute in, and this is your mid laner, technically speaking. I mean, we've seen like the musical chairs in terms of switching lanes before.
Thanks,
this one,
have
for
fun.
some reason, is just more comical. As Bane, FNG dies under his tier 1 tower.
He just died to Shadow Poison and attacks from Taiga. That's...
I was not expecting that.
Very unusual for Bane to die in this matchup. Just must have been a pretty crucial mistake. Like, you don't die to Shadow Demon one-on-one in this lane. Not level 1. No way.
Well, it is going to be Naga versus Nature's Prophet mid. And of course, lane swapping now is going to be pretty moot considering S4 will be able to get teleportation at any point if he really wants. Just switch lanes very fast. But if this does continue, Naga versus Nature's Prophet, what does that lane look like?
I think Naga will get really good farm, especially given the head start that she got on experience. She's half a level ahead of S4, so getting level 2 mirror image before the second cast here will be really nice. I don't think Nature's Prophet really does anything to Naga. High base armor against the Trance and against the Blightstone. Nature's Prophet can't kill off the illusions. So Liquid weren't trying to avoid this because they don't want Naga against Nature's Prophet. They did it because they don't want Dragon Knight against Batrider. That's why they swapped. And now they're kind of stuck with it in the end, and Limp has good levels. So I think this top lane is kind of a... I'm not sure what the best way of describing this is for Liquid. It's very dangerous, let's say. Let's put it that way.
It's almost like, I mean, considering they got the first blood bottom, this is almost like the sacrifice lane, the old school. But of course, it's in the safe lane. It's kind of weird. But we'll see. I mean, DK is still pretty tanky. As long as he doesn't continue to get stacks of sticky napalm, which there are 5 of now. Limp has not leveled Firefly up, but he's staving 2 levels right now, just in case he finds a good opportunity to use it under the tower.
Yep. And I was gonna say, I hope quite the and just a little bit they'll kill you through
I can't tell if you're Robody or if it's me, Cinderin. I'm gonna
You're back to normal
just
for me.
you as usual.
We're good.
I'm back to normal for you.
Yeah.
Good.
Am I back to normal for you?
Yes, you
like
don't
what
sound
you
like a
hear?
robot anymore. I did. It got me. It actually concerns me that I liked it so much. But we did.
Oh,
miss
you like
another
ASMR
Bane
too, so it's not surprising.
There's a lot of people that like ASMR. Don't make it weird, Cinder.
Thanks for that.
No, that's not weird.
You implied that it was. Okay.
No,
It's maybe weird that I do it during when I play games sometimes. I pretty much fall asleep. That's another story. That's called addiction.
That explains so much.
Not when I play with you, though. I put on my try-hard pants, which is even sadder.
That's even more concerning. That is you trying?
Oh
no.
Not
Top
for
lane,
you.
Top lane.
could be in trouble. He has to stun though, like you said.
3
He's gonna stun.
stacks right now. There's one level of Firefly, and he pops his wand, but he looks to be most likely just dead here. Zanny has already expended all he can. Hanskin taking heavy damage though, so it's going to be a trade of sorts. It's going to be okay.
Bad for Liquid, honestly. I know your Dragon Knight is not super happy right now, but if you trade when the enemy has this favorable lane right now, the levels on Venge and the Golden Venge is super useful. So it's really not that bad for them. I think they'll take this trade.
Warriors of the
The
wood.
CS right now in terms of the carries. Slark 28 and 4 versus the Naga 27 and 4. Naga's the mid lane.
Oh, it's the
mid
carry
lane is
though.
actually, mid lane is the same in terms of CS, very similar. The DK is the one struggling, like you said. So 11 and 2 versus 29 and 4. If you want to compare the two, the discrepancy is enormous right now. Now the question is, what can Liquid do about this? Liquid's been going on again. Level 3 versus level 5. It just doesn't seem fair. Taiga, TP's in though. Looks like his presence alone will save Korkba's life. Maybe turn this around. Taking a lot of damage though from this Firefly. It's about to end. Has 3 stacks of Shadow Poison on.
Killing spree.
4, and he will pop shortly after. Looking for the kill on Insania, but looks like he missed time his roll a little bit. X4 does TP in to get a counter kill on the Shadow Demon, but they definitely wanted more than that.
Bit unfortunate timing on the Wrath of Nature. I think it only connected on one of Liquid's 3 heroes. The other 2 were in fog at the time that it connected, or S4 could have cleaned house there.
Radiant's middle tower
But
is
yeah,
under
that's-
attack.
It's pretty good for Alliance because you force the Shadow Demon off the bot lane, and now Bane will happily start harassing the Centaur in this 2v1 lane, and Nikobaby's lane was already good to begin with. Obviously the Bane dying twice was not great, but Nico was free farming the whole time. Now he's doubling up Centaur, who can't even come to the creep wave anymore against this lane. Pretty problematic for him that Shadow Demon had to move, and now he's
Yeah, Nikobaby is having the time of his life in this bot lane. The highest CS by far right now. And we'll be going for drums, it looks like. Does he actually have boots on the way? Okay, boots into drums.
Yep.
Thought for a second he wasn't even going for boots. I'm like, interesting choice. So how does this Naga game look for you when you get to the mid to late game?
pretty solid. I mean, it was the 10th pick of the draft, right?
Whoa, Nikobaby almost dies there. Has to pop the Shadow Dance. Okay, continue.
I think it was the 10th pick of the draft, right? It looks really, really solid here. It's awesome against Bane. It's really good against Batrider later on. The Spark matchup is nice. It's actually just flat out good against all of the heroes. And kind of what Alliance need to do to solve it is they need to play the tempo of their draft. Their lineup is super fast in the earlier portion of the mid game. As Bane will die again.
Yes. Into double edge. And of course, the extra damage. Some in the form of Limp, who actually uses Lasso. Didn't look like they actually needed it, but they did pop Stanley, I suppose. So they'll find the trade. They'll take that. And Koikfa was getting pressured a bit here. Handskin only level 3 right now. But there are bats in there.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Koikfa is still only level 5. He pops his wand. It looks like the flame break does connect. I think he'll live through it though. Handskin tiptoeing away with that health salve going. I'm just gonna have to take this rune, looks like.
Double damage!
I think the
Nobody
biggest
has
win overall that Alliance have got in this game is that Koikfa's game is this bad. And I don't think he played the top lane poorly. And this time that they rotated him into mid, I think it's a good choice. Like, you need to get him off the bat lane. I wonder, thinking back on this game, if he should have just kept lane swapping forever. Like, until Furion uses teleport. But, like you said, you run into this problem, right?
You're gonna have to hold that. Might be a fight here. Nikobaby jumps in, TP support though from Liquid. They're pretty much out of mana. It's just boxy with mana right now. No ability to cast with mana. But yeah, the Nature's Prophet S4 drops to the deck. And that'll break things up. You said they did this
Radiant's
to themselves. Is that what you
courier
were
has
saying?
been killed.
The Dragon Knight? Yeah.
I think they could have maybe kept going back and forth. I wonder when you just like whatever. Again, what prompted it? I wasn't paying fully close attention to like the placement of the heroes all the time, but the first 2 minutes that they did it was really good. Or not 2 minutes. Okay, that's an exaggeration. The first 2 times that they did the swap back and forth was really valuable. Ooh, Mickey. He has a song.
So he had the song. Oh, gets nightmared up. It's going to take more damage, but yeah, TP is there. Unfortunately, FNG is not level 6 yet. That would have been a definite kill. As we do approach the 10-minute mark now, Insania is going to be taking the opposing outpost. All right, that's his outpost. It's going to be a 1-for-1 if nobody gets it last-second steal here. So that means Bane will finally be... Oh, wait. Looks like FNG will steal it back, so... Is that the double outpost? Nikobaby was thinking about.
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
A lucky find.
Very nice. Bane Elemental. Not level 6, though. Somehow. Incredible.
Oh, S4, that was close. If that haste goes to Koikva and he starts running him down with a +1 behind from the Shadow Demon or Centaur, that could have been a Furion kill, but yeah.
But you're right. When you go into the late game, I'm trying to. I'm sure there's somebody worse, but in terms of support heroes that feel that bad against Naga, Bane has got to be towards the top of the list. That is,
it's terrible,
brutal.
It's one of my least favorite matchups to play against the carry as Bane. I think #1 is Phantom Lancer. That's just absolutely.
Yep, that's even
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Insania
attack.
was getting chased by Limp.
Dire's
The
structures
Centaur
are
did
fortified.
ult to keep him safe, and
I like
was
this one.
Dire's
This
middle
is
tower
good.
is
They're
under
putting so
attack.
much pressure as far as pushing the mid tower while they're making their aggressive move top. So Liquid are kind of forced to distribute their resources, and nobody has a TP ready for mid tower. Koikva does apparently have one, but he's pushing bot on his own. So S4 just managed to get essentially a full tier 1 mid, and it will just barely.
Dire's middle tower has been denied.
after they're going at Koikva. Did pop the Elder Dragon form a while ago. It's already at half duration. Applied a little bit of pressure to the bot tower.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Get out his top lane. Limb.
That's
But the instant dragon tail from
Dire's
Koikva.
courier
The Bane
has been
Elemental
killed.
grip up to the Naga sign. Will get the trade. He'll take that any day of the week, although his life might not be lasting a whole lot
Radiant's
longer. If
middle
Koikva could just
tower
get
is
this
under
last
attack.
second stun here. Nikobaby though. Yeah. Partially juked and partially not interested in fighting this right now. Nice Sprout keeping him on that side. Taiga does have disruption. See if he uses it onto the Slark here. So Koikva lives, but does not find the Bane.
That kill.
That's a big kill.
That was pretty hilarious. Like, it's just Fiend Script inside the corpse of a dead Bat Rider that's burning. He died from...
You've been really obsessed with corpses lately.
Okay, that's off the record.
Wow, you just made it even darker than it was meant to be. Thank you. Didn't know you were into necrophilia. But that's a whole
Double
nother story.
damage.
I thought that was
Alliance
the joke you were
versus
making.
Team Liquid.
You like to make inappropriate comments every time we cast, instead of being professional and staying
Dire's
on
middle tower
topic.
is
That
under
is
attack.
as professional as it gets in Dota. It's a serious topic. There's a lot of issues with that in society, Cinder. I don't know if you've been watching the news.
Dire's top tower is under
Is now
attack.
being taken out by Alliance. Don't exactly have the best pushing heroes in this lane, but Nature's Prophet, of course, can kind of split push to his heart's content. He's going for Orchid, by the way, on S4. As well, looks like the Shadow's going to have
Dire's top
to
tower
disrupt
is
FN.
under attack.
It's not quite up. A nice swap, though. Doing the Vengelizer now. Double hook stun. But like to a ball here is Magnetize dealing a decent amount of damage. Mickey is forced to use Song of the Siren. Koikva still has his Elder Dragon form going right now. They're
Dire's
just gonna
top
walk
tower
away.
has fallen.
See if they can catch
Could be in
more.
trouble if there's a good Sprout.
Or the Sprout coming through. Nikobaby has pounced in 1 second, but not gonna be able to find it. In fact, gonna find the counter kill. So it's a 1-for-1 now. As Alliance is on the run, Foxy gets boxed into a Sprout again.
Warriors of the
Only way to
wood.
get through it. As for running away, he looks so slow. He looks so sad. And there's a magic missile to the imminent death. So a turnaround here for Liquid as they were actually retreating.
Yeah, they get the positional advantage by using Song the Siren, running off to the right on Naga, and Alliance call, we can get this kill, and then they get pincered. So basically what ends up happening is that Alliance give them a free backstab. It's kind of like dying a tower where the enemy team just comes from both sides here. And I don't really blame them for going for that Naga. That definitely seemed like a possible kill. It's a super hard decision to make in the moment, but Liquid were definitely on top of it that time around. I think maybe for Alliance, you would be a bit wise right now to just chill for like 2 minutes, get Nature's Prophet his Orchid so you can deal with these pesky saves, or target the Naga before the Manta Style comes out and she can't sing. Your Slark can get his Diffusal, and your lineup is going to feel like twice as strong. But they probably just feel this pressure because of this last pick Naga. They're like, we can't save back and farm. But I think sometimes you just got to accept that, like, you need to chill for 2 minutes here. Get those items and then go back to playing exactly like you have so far. You're going to be so much
Radiant's
stronger.
bottom tower is under attack.
It's not, not too far away. Basically just a recipe away from finishing that bad boy. This tier 1 tower bot looks like it's next on the list for Liquid, although Insania is getting caught out here.
Dyer's top
With the help
tower
of
is
S4
under
and
attack.
Limp to swap in.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
That'll be the first to fall here. So the tier 1 tower will be saved again at the 15-minute mark.
Yeah, gotta commend Alliance for doing a really good job at defending the towers this game. You're playing against the Dragon Knight lineup. It's really what you want to do. They slow down Koikva and then they are always ready to protect the lane that he's going to. So because of that, none of their towers is, well, one is barely below half health, but they're pretty well off right now.
What do you think of Taiga's first item choice here? He has a blink queued up right now.
Fox is direct.
Foxy is completely surrounded right now and will easily be taken out. A lot of mobility on the side of Alliance, of course. That's
Blink on Taiga?
Yeah, and I mean, when you see this Orchid come online for S4, I would assume you go for
Dyer's
like
bottom
a
tower is
Yule
under
or something.
attack.
But
Well, it depends. If you see the
Dyer's
teleportation come in, you always have the counterplay of just blinking away. And if he's teleporting on anybody else, you are a 2,000 range save all of a sudden. So I don't mind it. I don't think it's a bad choice. Insania gets the D.
Dyer's bottom tower is under attack.
slowed as well, but again, Alliance are here in numbers.
They're ready this game.
Finish them up.
So soon.
Yeah. They've woken up.
Dyer's bottom
Tier 1
tower
tower's
is
taken
falling.
out now, and Foxy might be finding his way to the grave again.
Just
Brought back in. He's going to use his Centaur ult to get out of dodge. And
See, I was going to say, I've been there as Earth Spirit where you just miss every spell, but that obviously has not happened. But I could totally imagine that could happen, where you miss your spells and it feels really bad.
Oh, I see.
So the timing on that disruption was super good. It was right as Magnetize got cast, and it didn't connect on any creeps, so he couldn't sustain that Magnetize. But the roll was even worse. That was just miscommunication. Limp pulled the guy off to the right, and the roll went straight down from Henskin, so definitely a bit of a mess up there from Alliance. Pretty costly, considering that Liquid were farming on 2 cores in the meantime. They're going to be happy about that one.
Well, S4 did pick up the Orchid finally. Let's talk about Limp for a second here. We've seen so many different variations of like this first item or two on Bad Riders. He did go for the Boosted Travel, which we've seen a decent amount. Looks like he's going for the Blink next. Do you like this choice? Would you have preferred different order? Or, I mean, we don't see drums anymore, but obviously Force Staff is one of the first 3
Radiant
items.
are scanning.
I would kind of like
Do you like the right item in this game? BKB as the second or first?
Second item. I don't think you can ever really go BKB as first item, but you could go BKB after travels. I don't think it's a bad idea this game to do that. Like, what your lineup wants is a reliable way of starting and extending fights. If you have a BKB here, you can kind of just pick your target. If Venge is accounted for by Nature's Prophet, you have options all the time, and you can be a true damage threat in the fights. The problem when you go this build on Bat a lot of the time, I feel, is you have this one catch, and then afterwards, if you're playing against these lineups of this type, you can't really continue your damage hit, which is bad.
S4 is going to get focused on double edges there. Is this a swap back in? Nikobaby is going to pop his ult, but there is Mickey, his song of the siren. Mick
Jack. dagger?
I mean, when you read his name as an American, that's honestly
Killing spree.
Will be the casualty here. Could have been a lot worse for Liquid. But Elder Dragon form was activated, and they're not really able to get anything. I mean, we're at the 19-minute mark, and it's still a level 1 Dragon form. That feels really bad.
It does, but at the same time, the win condition is thriving, right? True. Naga's game is really good, and I don't think Liquid have this sense of urgency that, oh, we have to take the tower soon or this is going to fall apart. They want to, by all means, but it's not necessary for their lineup to do it. As long as Mickey is happy, they're playing their saves and then not losing too much ground, it's easily playable. Naga is very unique in the sense that it's one of the best carries at dealing with losing a bit of map control because you always illusion farm, right? Even if you've lost, say, 60% of the map, Naga is one of the carries that can still split the farm 50-50 by just taking the farm that's usually inaccessible. And Alliance need to always be on top of these illusions to make that impossible for Mickey to do. So it's extra threat in their side, basically. FNG wanted that bounty rune.
They get both outposts to the Alliance, but here comes the fight now. FNG as per
Killing spree.
But Hanskin not so lucky this time around as S4 is going to get completely
Radiant's
surrounded.
bottom tower
He's
is under attack.
ult for another 20 seconds to swap to safety.
Killing spree.
Rear feet are going off as well. And it looks like the Naga Siren will fall here if he's not careful. 15 seconds for his ult. The saves have been so good, though, for Liquid. Great stun, great layering. Manta is going to completely dispel the Orchid. And
A dominating performance.
Take out the Shadow Demon instead. Not the target of choice. But they'll take it. One for one. Here comes the initiative, and that's the Blink Dagger reveal onto the Cliff goes the Dragon. That's a good Koikfa. Completely destroyed. But Naga lived somehow.
And that was even while being stampeded in a pounce. They actually kind of stampeded at a bad time, but it would still work just long enough that he could create a gap after the pounce ended. And then they could stomp in the Shadow Dance. So, like you pointed out, though, the big difference in this fight to the previous one is that there's no Song of the Siren. Liquid have been doing a really good job at using that to reset the fight and get better positioning. And that time it was not available to them. But next fight, the difficulty, it feels like it's going to ramp up for Alliance. You know they have a 2k gold lead, but this Naga's inventory is insanely valuable right now. Manta Diffusal against a lineup that doesn't inherently counter the hero, it'll be so much harder to deal with now.
Dire
Burning
are
off
scanning.
the mana of Slark or getting on top of just one of the supports and killing them single-handedly now is a big issue.
It's kind of, if you look at the net worth, it's really interesting though, because obviously Naga's on top, but
Radiant's
then the
bottom
next three
tower
all cores
is
from
under
Alliance
attack.
are
Radiant
a
structures are
decent
fortified.
amount away from anybody else on the Liquid side. And then Liquid, in terms of their supports, are actually more farmed than Alliance. It's kind of backwards in some ways.
Yeah,
Very interesting.
Very different distribution for the both.
Dire's top tower is under
I want
attack.
to point out, like, the
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom
prognosis
tower
of this
is
game
falling.
is an 80% win for Liquid right now. You wouldn't think so when you saw the gold lead being 3k just a moment ago. But it really is just, Gabe has watched a lot of Naga. And he knows
Every TI, man.
he's an expert on Naga. It's his favorite hero after Sand King. He knows how these games tend to go. So again,
Roshan has fallen to the Radiant.
this is good though for Alliance. This Aegis, Slark hits a super timing soon. He has Aegis and Scotty coming up in 2 minutes. So going to be very, very powerful. So much more sustain on him allows him to not have to
Dire's
weave in and
top
out of
tower
fights so much.
is
It's been
under
the big
attack.
problem here for Nico is he goes in as soon as he takes the damage as
And that opens up this potential fight from Focus when the Stampede is used. And will likely fall shortly after. Slark has
Dire's top tower is under attack.
very nicely done, and Slark is already going to extend that Aegis. Here comes the Song of the Siren, S4. Trying to finish off Boxy, who's really close with that BKB. Has the Sprout available, not quite in range.
Oh my.
Hanskin about to get the kill there, but Boxy blinks to safety, and again, Liquid gets away with everything.
And they got the Aegis. So they kind of got 2 kills, right? They got the Aegis and Batbot back. So you could even call that a 3-for-0, to be honest, that fight. just playing super well around these disengages and saves. The swap from Insania there was about as quick as it could be. They knew that Lasso was coming on the Naga. An instant save takes care of business. Good stuff.
Nikobaby just about to finish, just maybe a minute away from finishing that Scotty that you were talking about. BKB looks to be next now for Limp after the buyback. That obviously set him back quite a bit, still sitting on basically the same items he has been for the past 5-6 months now. I'm more interested in how DK is progressing though, because obviously struggled very early on, has the blink initiation, is going for BKB next.
Dire's bottom
For
tower is under
survivability. Do you agree with
attack.
that choice?
Yeah, I think both teams should be looking for BKBs at this point. Batrider is now queuing it up after Blink, so I'm happy to see that from Limp.
We're gonna have a
fire of the game.
Both teams kind of baiting each other. Pushka's been blinking with that dragon tail. Here comes Tiger.
Dire's bottom tower is
BKB
under
here's the
attack.
initiation and the instant swap again, keeping the Naga Siren alive. It's gonna cost Venge's life. Pretty sure he'll take the end of the day of the week. Silent Siren still on cooldown for 20 seconds. This could mean a lot of trouble for Mickey. Disruption is available.
Dire's middle tower
This is Gabe Newell. Thanks for playing Dota 2.
So
Double
great
kill.
setup for Alliance overall. They find 2 kills and
Killing spree.
Optimistic. That was a really good bait from S4. Knowing that his team was covering him on the left, he has the BKB turnaround, and Liquid fell for it. So very, very nice from Alliance. They needed something big like this to stay ahead in the game, or will rather. I still don't feel like they were ahead going into this, but that moment could just be the big moment of the game where they finally start to get a convincing lead in the game. The big kill, of course, being that Naga.
Come to me.
oh man.
Spiker will get out
Gets
for
a little
now.
vision here. Grip is available. Range is not the best, and Disruption comes out first. The life of a Bane, man. Forever looking
Dire's
for a
bottom
target
tower
to
is
cast an
under
ability
attack.
on.
Dire's structures are fortified.
But yeah, great fight for Alliance. 4K lead. Scotty is now online for
Dire
Nikobaby.
are scanning.
Anything else? What does S4 have right now? So he had the Orchid, BKB, now has a Maelstrom, so we'll be going for a Mjolnir. So just playing some good old Rat Dota or Alliance style. Nature's Prophet. Bulldog would be proud.
It is really important that this last fight goes the way that it does, because Alliance clearly have to solve Naga through itemization this game, because their lineup doesn't. And getting that big fight, Maelstrom closing in on the Mjolnir will be big. That Batrider BKB, oh, he's actually going to find a Cashmere Cloak, but not protection this time.
Oh, his home with
Dominating, I guess.
Done. Still no
Feels like that's
BKB.
the first time this game that Liquid actually get caught without a save nearby, and that's big. Now they can just try to snowball off this. Getting really good ground right now in the bottom area.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And that BKB
Radiant's
is not
top
even
tower
that
is
close
under attack.
for Quakefa. He can almost fight a Mithril Hammer, but that just leaves the rest of the
Radiant
Alliance still have
structures are
quite the advantage
fortified.
in terms of the item
Radiant's top
discrepancy.
tower is under attack.
And with
Dire's
that,
bottom
actually,
tower
both
is under attack.
Slark and Nature's Prophet are ahead of the Naga. I was not expecting to say that, but it's definitely the case right now. Insania,
Killing spree.
looks like he's dead.
Onage.
Tiger not able to get to the disruption in time.
Dire's bottom tower
But
has
Mickey,
fallen.
we talked about itemization on Naga the other day. I believe they went.
Dire's
they
middle
set a
tower
butterfly.
is under attack.
It was
Heart
you remember?
Pistol? Was it?
no. It was not tanky. It was
Silver Edge.
I can't remember what it was. Oh yeah, Silver Edge, right?
Dire's
kinda
middle
weird.
tower
Definitely
has
don't do
More
that
fallen.
this game,
standard
of course.
build. Yeah.
There's no argument for going silver here, so it's not even considering the item.
But what about the essence shifts and the value? Wow. Very helpful. Limp is I mean, he's not mega farm, but I feel like he's created such a really good pace for Alliance between him and S4, just being all over the place.
He's a good killer. I think a lot of the time, people think of Limp a bit more farm intensive because he has had a history of playing a lot of TA, Shadow Fiends, and stuff. But his puck is really good. His bat is no surprise that it's also really good. He has a killer instinct. He loves playing killer heroes like Queen of Pain as well. So Yeah, he knows what to do. He knows what openings to find. But obviously it is a bit of a different farm distribution, having S4 as kind of the second carry of the game. He's going to TP in to show off his beautiful golden body and run away. And they are like, wow, that's a beautiful golden body, said Boxy.
Beautiful golden body, yes.
He got scared.
That
He was like, oh shit.
That was
somebody
his
there.
8-second BKB, so he's used it, I wouldn't say liberally necessarily, but he's used it quite a few times so far this game.
Yeah.
Before you know it, it's not going to last too long.
Slark now has
Boxy.
Orchid. I believe that's new, fully new.
Yep.
So now
Straight
Nico
for the
can
clip.
also punch or pounce on the back line. They're going to try to get Boxy. He is in death.
He's dead.
Mega kill. Ownage.
Radiant's
Easy
middle
kill.
tower is under attack.
And Slark right now sitting on 9 permanent agility. Nothing crazy, but that could get out of control real fast. Butterfly is officially done now on Mickey. Has no buyback at all. So, I mean, this is like the time of the game where Roshan is going to become very important once he's up.
They're unstoppable or not?
Another kill. This is a big one. This would be huge. Song is available. Can they
A dominating
clear the stuns
performance.
and silence
Ownage.
properly? The answer to that is yes, and no buyback like I talked about. So that means high ground potential here.
Dire's middle
For
tower
Alliance.
is under attack.
Love the play from Nico to get the Centaur kill bot, and he instantly
Dire's
just TP
middle
something like
barracks
this,
are
run them
under
out of their
attack.
jungle. And Liquid didn't manage to get out in time. They saw him the whole time, but they didn't get away. Got cut off by both the Prophet, Earth Spirit, and the Bat at the same time. And that's Elena Rax. Alliance has been playing really, really
Dire's
well these
middle
last
barracks
few minutes.
has
Really earning this victory right now.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Still
attack.
30 seconds without the Naga. There's no reason not
Two lanes. Probably.
You do have to be careful because Song of the Siren is available once he's
Dire's
back.
bottom tower has
And
fallen.
perhaps,
They're gonna settle.
I mean, at this stage, they know he doesn't have buyback, but I don't think they could have finished the racks and felt safe enough to continue.
It's actually completely fine to back off there. It's good.
BKB now picked up by Alliance, so the items are starting to flow in every direction. Bloodthorn only 1,000 away for Nikobaby. Don't see a lot of this item, at least not since they changed it to be Hyperstone. What are your
Nice
thoughts
Slark,
on it
though.
now? Yeah.
So he wants the attack speed more than the... Oh, I don't know if he wants it more than the damage. The old Bloodthorn was still really good.
Dire's top tower
Yeah,
is under
Slark is
attack.
definitely one of the heroes where you can make the best case for this being an upgrade over the old one.
And he's now the net worth leader by a wide margin. Followed closely behind by S4. We're going to see a smoke here from Liquid. This could be
Dire's
their
top
last
tower is under
attempt here.
attack.
If they get wiped, then
broke.
this will be GG for sure. Quickfoot jumps in, pops the Elder Dragon form, but gets slept immediately. Foxy still has a
Dire's
stampede. He's
top
going to
tower
get gripped
has fallen.
away from his entire team right now, but there's a disruption. He continues to hold on to BKB. Liquid's going to completely focus on Handskin right now. Gets up a really good ult, but will die shortly after. Nikobaby now being focused as the buyback on the Handskin is there. And staying
Mega
against
kill.
the match swap, and there is the song, but the Vengeful Spirit dies shortly after. And Mickey TPing out, so will save a majority of his team, but remember, with the buyback on Handskin and Elder Dragon form being down, they can just, I assume, just push if they really want.
Yeah, or wait for Roche.
Could
It's
just
up
go
in
for
20
Roche.
seconds. They know the max spawn timer isn't too far away, so it won't be long before they can claim that. And I like it from Liquid that they try to make it move. I think you have to get something done there. They smoke up, the smoke breaks. Koikfa feels confident to blink in Pup Dragon form and BKB and get something done, but Alliance were just as good at reacting quickly and not giving him a single target to really start that fight on. That's what really mattered. Like Dragon Knight's BKB essentially gets wasted over time. Centaur got way out of position, had to be saved by SD, but again, this is what Alliance couldn't manage.
Radiant's middle tower
This
is
game,
under
they're
attack.
burning Liquid saves. And once they're burned, the fights are actually really easy for Slark. So, this is their Roche for sure. Liquid, no interest in going here without Song, Dragon form, and Stampede.
Yeah.
Makes it even harder now.
One of the downsides of Liquid's lineup, of course, is having these cooldowns in terms of ultimates that are just super important, especially the Dragon form. But when you
Your song has fallen to the
one that
radiant.
has a song that you have needed pretty much every single fight. And I mean, a couple of his deaths early on were because he didn't have song, just because the cooldown was so long at level 1 and 2. So it might be biting them in the ass just a little bit. Of course, if this game ends up going like super late, they're going to feel much more comfortable having the Naga.
Oh, he got last again.
They're unstoppable.
And Centaur ult will not save you this time. Koifa even pops his Elder Dragon form, and they're just going to chase. That's how confident they're chasing a literal dragon right now. Swap out Insania. He's the magic as well, and he will sacrifice his life. And with this, and the Aegis intact, no reason Alliance can't get a second lane, if not more.
If you were a millennial,
Insania
I'd
is
say
still
wicked
alive.
sick.
How's that possible? He lived
They
so
let him
long.
sleep for like 8 seconds so that Slark could get 1 agility.
Wow, that agility is going to make a huge difference.
Pull roots and run.
They were just chasing other heroes. You can just park that guy there. It's not dangerous.
Dragon form. They're actually not waiting for that.
Dire's bottom
Surprisingly,
barracks
Lift
are
comes in.
under
Already at half health though, is now boxing with no ult to speak of. Will not be able to get himself out, but Insania with the save again.
Monster kill.
Sacrifice
Dire's
himself
bottom barracks
again.
are under
13 agility. He's getting out of control with a permanent agility on Nikobaby. Disruption. Another
Godlike.
save. It's just
Double
not
kill.
enough. Double kill from Nico.
Much obliged.
14 permanent agility. This is going to be a second lane of Rax.
Dire's bottom barracks are under attack.
See a Lapso now.
Nage.
As the supports are just melting some pressure towards the Alliance. Repair
Dire's
kit, not as good as it
structures
used
are
to be.
fortified.
They'll eventually find that melee Rax. Feels like
Dire's
the
bottom
illusions
barracks
just
are under
haven't
attack.
had much impact in the pushing department. A lot of that has to do with the advantages that Alliance have had in terms of the network and whatnot. And here is the jump in again onto Nikobaby. Song is available, but the silences just continue. And GG is called as Alliance just stomps their way through game 2. So this is now tied up and going to a game 3.
Dire's
Alliance
middle
really
barracks